tell. I wonder if he's up there in heaven looking down on us and saying, "Don't those guys get it right?"
Ball launched to shallow right field. Underneath it is Prather, and he just barely makes the catch for out number one. Looks like we are finally back, so our apologies to anyone kicked off of either stream. A couple internet outages here at the ballpark kicked us off for a second there. So we appreciate your patience, and we're glad that you're joining us here on a beautiful Sunday afternoon for baseball.
I'll say it's beautiful.
Toasty, but beautiful.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's
First pitch to Davis, a called strike one.
if we were back in Jersey, it would be a good day to go to the beach.
Wind is still blowing pretty good out towards left center. An 0-1. Half swing, did he go? No, he did not, says first base umpire Mike Weinstein. Good time to introduce you to the rest of the umpiring crew. Ty Unthank stepping in over on the left side of the infield. Bob Davis mans things behind home plate. A 1-1 to Davis. Crank to the left side into the glove of Penner. He'll throw across to first for out number two.
You can't hit him any harder than that. And JR just did. I mean, that was a good, solid contact.
Now, Penner has had a couple of bad throws in this series so far, but Penner has been very good at third base at keeping the ball in front of him.
Yes.
Now, some of the throws haven't been great, but the initial stop has been really good for him this week.
Well, you know, one of the old-time great third basemen, you probably never heard of him, Kenny Keltner. He played for the Cleveland Indians in 1948, world champs. And he used to take most of the ground balls off his chest, then pick the ball up and throw you out. But, I mean, instead of a glove, he used his chest.
0-1 to Elijah McNamee. Bouncing foul to the left side.
Yeah, Kenny Keltner, 1948 Cleveland Indian world champs. Larry Doby played center field, and my good friend and my hometown hero was Allie Clark.
After McNamee had about a 2-week-long slump, he's now found hits in 4 straight games. Yeah. So it's good to see Elijah McNamee kind of falling back into place.
Although last night he disappointed me in taking that third strike.
That was a tough one.
With the bases loaded, yes.
And I'm sure he probably thought about that one laying in bed last night.
Yes.
1-2 to McNamee. Called strike 3. He was leaning over the plate, thought it was for sure outside, and he's going to ask for a little clarification. He gets it, and the inning ends. Still scoreless, still hitless here from historic Bosse Field in Evansville. We've got the third inning. It's coming at you next. Back to the field come the Otters and Vinny Santasiero. No complaints through 2 innings. So he had the 1 walk, but other than that, he's controlled every at-bat he's been a part of.
You're right, but there's one thing that I've noticed. He's got no curveball.
Yeah, it comes out of the hand as a curveball, but it doesn't move very
It
much.
doesn't do anything.
The nice part about it is it's very slow, so it can almost work as a changeup.
I mean, he's got the fastball, the velocity, but the curveball, he's missing. But
And if
you've
that's
got
the
to
case-
change it. I mean, you got to throw it every once in a while.
And if that's the case, don't rely on it very much.
Oh, yeah, right.
Sit on that fastball and then mix it in occasionally.
Exactly. Like
And
a
with-
1-and-1 count. Throw it as a ball, just so they know that, hey, wait a minute. And he's not a fastball hitter, pitcher, so that, the batter is now suspicious.
And that's the nice thing about having Justin Felix behind the plate. He calls a smart game as a catcher, so that could help as well. 0-1 stays just a tad high, evening the count up. Now, of course, whatever pitch ends up coming home, we have no idea if that's the one Felix calls or not, because you never know what goes on there, but you kind of assume sometimes there as well. 1-1 stays inside, and Prather's able to lay off for ball 2.
In my experience of professional baseball, well, in any baseball, whether it was in high school or in the Army or wherever it was, I never had many pitchers challenge my calls. There was one guy, Don Sutton, who got sent down from AAA, and he did challenge me a couple of times. Because he had more experience than I would yield to him.
3-1 to Prather. Sends out towards right center field. Long run for McNamee and for Baez. And Baez makes a wonderful catch on the run for out number 1.
I didn't think he got that, but he did.
He covered a lot of ground to get there, too.
Yes, he did. That pitcher I just told you about, where, again, I had respect for him. Rex Carr was our manager, went out to get the ball from him one night. He said, Rex, if I give you that ball, that means I'm going home. Oh, no, you could stay. He was the only player on the team that had an automobile as well. Everybody else, we walked.
First pitch to Alex Hernandez is good for ball 1. Hernandez out of Nova Southeastern University. Usually he catches for J.P. Williams, as they were college teammates as well.
Oh, really?
So the last, I believe, all 3 times these two squads have played, the Otters have seen J.P. Williams, and it's been Hernandez behind the plate because they're a 3 or 4-year-old battery now.
Over down there in the
I was going to say a misplay there in the bullpen.
Yeah.
Luckily, that one won't count against him on the scoreboard.
He didn't have his glove on it.
Yeah, we'll give him a free pass because he didn't have his glove on.
Right.
1-2's the count for the catcher, Alex Hernandez.
Curveball.
Pitch.
There it is. That's
And
the
it's sent
curveball.
over towards Davis on 2 hops. The throw over is in time for out number 2. That one had a little bit more curve, except it didn't curve any vertically. It was horizontal.
Right, it was off speed.
Yeah, it looked like a off-speed slider.
Right.
Yeah. Did the trick. It had Hernandez a bit fooled, and he just barely made contact and ended up getting the out. Back to the top of the order we go, where the hero in last night's game, Andrew Penner, heads to the plate. Struck out looking to start this game. Makes a called strike here.
And that was a curveball again. But if you notice, he came down low 3/4.
Oh, 1 stays high. We've seen a lot of that. Get that first pitch strike and then a high ball 1. Ball sent out towards shallow left. Everyone's running towards it, and it's Khalil who makes a catch over his head. A strange play there, but Khalil's able to get it for out number 3. And the Otters have gotten through 3 defensive innings without giving up any tallies. We head to the bottom half of the third, scoreless from Evansville. As we head to the bottom of the third, I hear a couple of our four-legged friends here at Bosse Field today cheering on the Otters. A couple barks there.
Couple barks?
Yeah.
Oh.
Just one last Dog Days of Summer. That'll be the regular season finale or home series finale here at Bosse Field. That's in 3 weeks from today as Florence is in town on August 28th. It's the final home game of the regular season here at Bosse Field. Final Dog Days of Summer as well. 0-1 to George Khalil. Swinging strike two. Man, pitchers have really exposed the inside edge on George Khalil this last week.
They have. You're right. And let me just see where he's at. Now he's got a good batting position at that plate.
Yeah. 0-2. Again, they try to go high and inside, but it stays a bit high. Ball one.
Well, whatever, George was the hero the other night with that fly ball home run over the wall to give us that big, 7-8 win. Was that what it was?
9-7, yeah.
9-7. And we needed that big hit. Plus, he's been playing outstanding defense.
Count goes to 1-2 for George Khalil. Swinging strike three. They got him chasing, and they'll throw down to make it official.
Yeah.
It's the third strikeout of the day for Lucas Weinbergs. Bullpen day for both of these teams, as each are throwing a reliever just to try to get through the series, get to the off day tomorrow. I know both squads are also facing the injury list. Of course, the Otters having Justin Watland finally come off. About half of the bullpen in Gateway has either had or currently has COVID right now. So they've had a tough time going with that, and that's kind of made the pitching rotation have a bit of a hiccup. So both teams hoping to get back into a groove of things this week. First pitch to Justin Felix is outside ball one. He hopped into last night's game as a pinch hitter. He walked to load the bases in the bottom of the ninth, but a strikeout from Andy Armstrong ended the game and the Otters' hopes of a comeback. 1-0 falls in for a called strike.
And a pitch he walked on, Felix walked on, was very, very close.
Yeah.
It could have been got either way.
Very close on that outside edge.
Yep.
But the outside edge was not being called a strike for a lot of the night, and the catcher saw that. Ball fouled off to the left side. Felix is down 1-2 in the count.
It's just like a ball player. You expect him to make no errors. With an umpire, all you expect him to do is be consistent. If he calls that high inside pitch a strike on you, call it on me.
And at the end of the day, you have to recognize he's a human too.
That's right.
And that's one of the things about baseball. There's that human element to it.
Yes.
One ball, two strikes to Justin Felix. Zooms the ball out towards center. Rakusin moving back towards the warning track. He halts up and brings it in for out number two.
I can't believe that ball traveled that far. I mean, that went 390-some feet.
Yeah, and off the bat, it didn't look super hard hit.
I thought it was a fly ball out.
But then Rakusin just took off towards the wall. I thought it might carry out of here with the way he was running towards the wall. But it's a fly out, and we sit at 2 outs with nobody on as Andy Armstrong makes his way to the plate. And a ball is hit chopping over towards that left side.
You know, I did want to make a comment. Our last batter in the last inning struck out was Big Mac. But, as you said, he bent over to watch it. He followed that ball, so we give him credit for keeping his eyes on the pitch.
Swinging strike one for Armstrong starts off the count. And at the same time, that McNamee strike was – It was one of those borderline, every umpire is going to make a different call. So it's a good take pitch for him, I think.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, I give him credit for following the pitch. He just didn't take it for granted.
0-2, swinging strike three, and the Otters sat down in order once again. We've played 3 full innings. We're still looking for a hit. We're still looking for a run. We're still looking for an error. Absolutely nothing yet in this game. So we head to the top of the fourth inning. This feels a lot like last night. Outside of the 2 home runs we had last night, really nothing through these first couple innings. Even though these are relief guys, they look really good on the mound.
Well, you're right. Last night we had 1 hit, 1 run, and 1 error for the Otters. And for Gateway, 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error. It was like that for about 3 or 4 innings.
It lasted all the way to the 5th
Yeah.
with that. So leading off this inning is Isaac Bernard, the right fielder. He struck out his first time up. And he takes a close pitch. Thought that was going to be a called strike.
Yeah.
Instead, it evens the count at 1-1.
You know, he lowered his arm and threw it like a little sidearm.
Yeah.
And it went 88.
1-1 from Santasiero. Zoom down the right field line, but foul.
He come back with the same pitch.
Tell you what, I took some time today to go back and appreciate that play last night from Andy Armstrong. I shared it again on our social medias. It's worth an extra couple of looks, and I'll show it here to you again. Wonderful play from Armstrong.
You ain't kidding.
And I mean, the fact that that was not even the only great play from the Otters, and they still couldn't get a win, is what's so heartbreaking.
Well, but at that particular time, we were down by, I think, 1 run. And
there were runners at second and third.
Right.
Yeah.
If he don't make that play, we're down by 2 or 3.
I think, of course, the Otters were not able to come back, but that was a game-saving catch. If the Otters come back, it was because of that play. And I hope that play helps him to get more noticed. If his bat had a little bit more to it, I guarantee he'd be one of the ones getting looked at to get a move somewhere else.
Well, I'll agree with you. His best asset offensively is bunting. His bat is, I think he's not aggressive enough. I guess that's what you want to say.
Well, I'll let you know what just went on here at the ballpark. First of all, it was a walk to Bernard. Second of all, they have called all available staff to the tarp, as it looks like there's a potential for this rainstorm that's been in Henderson for the last little bit to pop up here and grab us really quick. So they are making a couple of accommodations just in case. So we could see, if we saw a delay, a very short one, as there could be a pop-up storm or two coming out of nowhere. Just keeping you in the know.
No, that's important because, like you say, there's the ground crew or also the front office.
The interns. First pitch to Rakusen's inside. Do want to shout out both Connor King and Bryson Moore, who are 2 of our interns this year. Bryson Moore, of course, a second-year intern. He's more of a full-time staffer. They're both serving their final game with the Otters today. They're both heading back to college this week, so It's been great working with them this summer. We wish them well, and we're glad we had them here at the Otters. We're starting to get to that season where we've got a lot of interns and some of the part-time staff signing off for the year as they're heading back off to college.
Yeah, that's I remember those days. You do, too.
Yeah.
They're still fresh in your mind.
But unfortunately for you, you're stuck with me for the rest of the year. I'm not going anywhere.
Okay.
3-0 to Zach Rakusen. I wouldn't be surprised if another walk here, there's a man warming up.
Well, if he walks a man, I would have someone warming up, yes.
In fact, I just saw Max go down and grab the walkie-talkies, so he could be issuing the conversation now. And it's a 4-pitch walk to Rakusen that's put runners at first and second.
That's his second walk to him.
It's a shame because Santasiero was so good in those first 3 innings. He trusted the defense, got a couple strikeouts. This is a tough way for things to turn right now. So there's nobody out and 2 on with one of the most dangerous hitters in this league.
Right, and yet no outs, and he was looking down the coach on third. And should he bunt? And I would say normally yes, but one of the better hitters in the league, no. Go ahead, go for it.
Oh boy,
and
there was a curveball there.
Yep.
Got it in for a call or a swinging strike. Otters do not have anyone warming up.
You know, I'm surprised at JR. It's a bunt situation that he's playing as deep as he is. He should be in about 20 feet. Even though the guy's hitting away, you never know.
0-1 for Achenbaugh. Cracked bat, it's sent out towards center. And it's going to drop for a base hit. They are going to keep the man at third, and the bases are loaded.
Call time. Max, get out there right now. Right now, Max, is when you should be going out there. Bases loaded, no outs.
If that ball's not hit off the handle of the bat and cracking the bat, that's probably caught by Baez, and it's an out.
I thought it was going to get caught, yeah.
So it looks like there is a man starting to toss for the Otters, and it is going to be, I believe, Braden Bonner.
But Max has made no effort to go out there. And first of all, you want to settle him down. Secondly, you want to give the the pitcher of the bullpen a few extra warm-ups.
Yeah, Bonner is heading over there now. He has not thrown any warm-up pitches yet.
Yeah.
And just now he starts throwing to the bullpen catcher, Brody Tanksley. First pitch to Kevin Krause.
There's the curveball.
Just misses on the inside edge, ball one. Krause is a heavy bat. If he can extend the hands and swing hard at something, he can almost always get extra bases from you. One ball, no strikes for Kevin Krause.
That's the curveball again.
Ball stays outside. 2-0.
Two curveballs.
And that one really ran away from the zone.
Yes. That had a good bite to it, but was out of the zone. You're right.
2 balls, no strikes now for Krause. Ball just misses on the outside edge and low as well. Ball 3. And Santosiero's potentially one pitch away from walking in the game's first run. A 3-0. That one's a called strike, and it's not a gimme. That was certainly a strike.
That was right down the middle. You're right. It was not a gimme.
Three balls, 1 strike for Kevin Krause. Bases are loaded and no outs. The 3-1. Called strike on the outside edge. And Krause had already thrown the bat thinking he got himself a walk.
Well, it's the old saying, don't call the pitch, let the umpire call it. It was close, but it could have went either way, I think.
Yeah, I think ball 3 looked closer than strike 2.
Right.
But that's why I'm up here.
Yeah.
So
But I think
Santosiero,
once you make the umpire look like a fool, he retaliates.
well, looks like a little bit of,
Action down there.
well, it looks like there could be a couple of raindrops starting to come down as the flag is blowing really hard now. The front's starting to move in.
Okay.
A 3-2. Pushed out towards center. Baez will chase back towards the warning track, and it's over his head. 1 run's going to score. 2 runs are going to score.
3 runs.
They're going to try for the third, and they will only score 2. It is a 2-run single, I would imagine, and they're going to probably say he advanced on the throw. The 2-run score on the Kevin Krause base hit.
Okay.
First baseman, number 6.
Max, take your finger out of your nose and get out there.
Bonner's looking back towards the dugout, seeming as he is ready out there in the right field pen. I wonder if Max thought maybe he would let the batter start, and it looks like now Max is saying some words towards Bob Davis behind the plate, maybe unhappy with the strike zone. Hard to tell exactly.
Well, I don't think so. I mean, that was a good pitch. There was nothing wrong. It was a strike.
First pitch to Freeman, stays high outside, ball 1. Keep an eye on the runner at third, Trevor Achenbach. He came way off the base, and we know Justin Felix has a hot trigger sometimes. Would not be surprised if we saw a throw over towards Davis.
Only thing, and this happened to me in a New Jersey State Semi-Pro Championship game. One of the ones that we ended up going to Wichita. And I tried to pick the guy off third. I gave the pickoff call to the third baseman. He didn't acknowledge it. I threw it. It went into left field. So unless
2-0 to Freeman, and he fouls it back into the netting.
Unless both players are on the same track, you can't execute.
Looks like officially they're going to call it a double for Kraus.
I would have given him a double automatically.
Thought maybe it would be an advance on throw. Since the throw didn't come to second, it came into the infield.
Right, but Baez made a heck of a play. I don't know if you noticed.
It bounced in front of him. He barehanded it and turned and threw it
exactly
at the same time. And
yes.
it saved that third run from coming home.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. That's the point I'm making. Yes.
It was a strange play from him. It was very fluid by him.
And he ran hard to get that, so it wasn't an easy high fly ball.
3-0 to Freeman, sent off towards the left side. And the count is now full. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
I thought sure as heck the third run was going to score. But when Baez got that ball back in as quickly as he did, you're right. That coach held him up.
And on the throw in, if it didn't hit the backside of the mound and go jumping in the air, there might have been a play at the plate even for that second run. Yeah. 3-2 payoff pitch to Clint Freeman. And it is fouled back into Felix. And that one caught him. I couldn't quite see it because of the home plate umpire, but it looked like it worked in towards that shoulder that had been bothering him. And immediately Andy McCauley and Mandy Flake come running out.
Now, she's a doctor. She's listed in the report as a doctor.
Yeah, I know she's a certified athletic trainer.
Yeah.
Braden Bonner is looking in from the right field bullpen, ready to go at any point. Felix in some obvious pain, and yeah, Flake is looking at that left shoulder neck area, the same place he got bothered against Lake Erie on a very similar pitch. And now Doc Martin will come out and have a look as well.
Well, that puts the Otters in a predicament if it is his shoulder.
It's on his catching arm, not his throwing arm, but it's been the same one that's bothered him for weeks.
Well, if he couldn't play before, now you're restricted to one catcher. So,
well, the Otters have Brody Tanksley, who's currently on the injured list, who has served as a bullpen catcher as well during the time. He's put in some solid performances as well, and he'd be available if need be. Felix gets up and is walking around now. That's why you hear the applause in the background. A couple of dogs give their certification as well, but he is in some obvious pain. And this is where you have to have the conversation of, we know you want to tough it out, but we've got to look out for the long term here.
You know, I'm glad you just said that. A catcher's as tough as can be. They're like steel. But as you say, you know, sit down now because you'll be available tomorrow.
You don't want 7 extra innings today to ruin the rest of the year for you.
That's right.
Felix is going to stay in the game, and they're going to give him a couple of warm-up pitches. Let's keep an eye on this situation. And he immediately gives a thumbs up to Bob Davis. Said he was good after just one throw.
Well, it's back to a 3-2 count. We forgot all about what count was there.
Yeah, it was still a 3-2 count. The bases aren't loaded, but there's runners at second and third with nobody out. Clint Freeman still at the plate. Vinny Santosierra with the biggest pitch of his start thus far. A 3-2. Stays low, and the bases are loaded.
Max,
and
get out there.
At this point, we will see Max.
Get out there now.
So Max Peterson's going to have a walkout to talk to his pitcher. That could be the day for Vinny Santosierra.
Well, Max is out there. It's going to be a while, yeah.
We will have a pitching change. We'll let you know who that is right after this. Santosierra has 3 really good innings, but this 4th inning hurts him, and he will exit this one with the bases loaded and nobody out. We'll be right back with the new starting pitcher. Braden Bonner entering this game for the Otters, trying to help get them out of a bases loaded, nobody out jam, with 2 runs already home for Gateway in the half inning. Bonner, of course, the newly acquired pitcher out of a trade with the Windy City Thunderbolts. This will be his 4th appearance. He finally got tagged for some runs his last time out. Gave up that triple with the bases loaded. He was put into a tough situation, but the first guy you face getting a bases clearing triple is not the greatest way to enter the game, and I'm sure he wants something different here in this one.
Yeah, well, that bases loaded triple just tied the game. It was 6-6.
I know what another greatest part. The bases loading triple came to the same batter he's going to face first in this game as well.
Oh, is that right?
So it's going to be a little bit of revenge for him.
Oh, okay.
It's called The Bullpens, presented by our friends at Business Communication Solutions. Contact BCS for all your business solution needs.
Yeah, that was to right center, that triple, unload those bases. But again, it brought in the 6 runs, and it was Benner who come up next to hit a similar triple in the same area that put them ahead 7-6.
First pitch to Abdiel Diaz. Called strike. Got to keep throwing strikes here if you're Braden Bonner. Keep attacking that zone.
Anytime a relief pitcher comes in, he's got to throw strikes.
An 0-1 to Abdiel Diaz. Oh, just misses the high outside corner. That's a close play. And right after that one was left alone for ball 1, I did see both Max and Andy kind of share a look, and it looked like a couple of shaking heads. They weren't too happy, but that's the game of baseball, unfortunately. A 1-1 to Diaz is skied high, foul to the left side. Davis chasing after it at the warning track. Did he make the catch? I think he did, but he ran into that wall hard. He made the catch.
Yes, he made the catch, but he's hurt.
But he hit that wall very hard.
He is hurt.
And it's never a good game when you have to see Mandy Flagg and Doc Martin appear multiple times. And Davis now is up and looks like he's good to go. Might have just knocked the wind out of himself running into the fence like that.
That might have been because he hit that fence. Thank God it's a fence, not concrete.
Because he ended up with his feet off the ground and all of his weight on those chain link pieces that stick up.
And I'm quite sure the chain link fence gave a little,
but I'm sure it just knocked the wind out of him, and that's why he needed a couple seconds to reset.
Back.
Regardless, it is a huge out because now the double play is potentially in order.
You've got the entire ground crew over there. You'd think one of them would have jumped up and grabbed it before he hit that fence.
First pitch to Jay Prather on the way home. Called strike 1. Beautiful pitch there for Bonner.
At least we got an out. So,
Though I have not heard the cowbell, Secret Weapon is here today. But I don't think I've heard the cowbell yet.
Yes, early.
It was?
Early
Okay.
he did, yes. In the first or second inning.
During our internet problems, that
Right.
must have been.
It was an introductory one,
Yeah.
letting you know I'm here.
0-1 to Prather. Outside ball 1.
Now, you were making reference to the runner on third and Felix maybe picking him off. When I was coaching in high school and in college,
1-1 coming home to Jay Prather. Called strike 2.
I always taught the runner, like he's doing right now, come back down the line, because a catcher, when you look over there, if the runner on third is walking back on the line, you can't judge how far away he is. So always go back on the line. It's confusing to a catcher.
One ball, 2 strikes for Jay Prather. And the ball's outside for ball 2.
Right. Now I want you to notice what I was trying to say. If you're a catcher and you look at the third baseman or the runner on third right now, you see the distance between the third base and him. Say, oh, maybe it's 5 feet. No way I could throw him out. But if he was 10 feet, I take a chance.
A 2-2 towards Jay Prather. Pushed foul down the left field line. It'll get out of play.
I'm here to tell you that overhead foul
Good hit
is
ball,
brought
but
to you
not the
by
right direction.
Hernandez Construction. Choose the best. Never regret it.
Otters are playing at double play depth right now with the outside infielders playing a little bit even more. Potentially wanting to go home. Two-two to Prather. Missed outside. Awfully close to where strike 2 was called.
I was going to say yes. I'm agreeing with you on that.
Because I don't think strike 2 was a strike. So that's not saying I think that should have been a call to strike. It was just surprising that they looked very similar and were different in goals. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Jay Prather. Bases loaded, 1 out. Big pitch from Bonner on the way. Outside ball 4 and a run comes home. Brings home Achenbach. Kraus goes to third. Freeman goes to second. Jay Prather now at first.
Alex Hernandez.
So the catcher, Alex Hernandez, who's 0 for 1 on the day, makes his way to the plate. First pitch home from Braden Bonner to Alex Hernandez. Is lifted high and fouled. It'll get out of play.
You know, now I'm just going to give an opinion. Why wouldn't the pitcher take a windup? The situation is the bases are loaded. Would it be more to his advantage to take a windup?
I guess as a bullpen guy, he's used to pitching out of the stretch, so maybe he's more comfortable that way.
Well, yes, but look, you see, he's
Ball is put out towards right center
That's
field.
a base
It'll
hit.
fall for a base hit. One run's going to score easily. A second run's going to score, and they will hold the third at third. It is a 2-run single for Alex Hernandez, and the lead hits 4 or 5.
do we have anyone else warming up down there?
Not right now.
Back to the top of the order.
Now, the other night he came in and gave up a triple. 3 runs scored. Here he gives up a single, but 2 runs scored.
There's runners at the corners, just 1 out, as this 4th inning has gone all wrong for the Otters.
Just like the other night when they scored 7 runs. We were up by 6 and they scored 7.
First pitch to Andrew Penners inside, ball 1. One ball, no strikes for the former Otter Andrew Penner. Ball put right back up the middle. Diving catch by Armstrong.
Again, Armstrong comes to the rescue. I mean, that's another outstanding play by Andy Armstrong. That saved one run. Like the other last night, he saved 2 runs.
Well, and as soon as he brought it in, he got his head up and got the ball over to Khalil just in case anyone tried to get it.
Double play.
Yeah. Good heads-up play, and Armstrong has once again found a way to help save a game. Isaac Bernard making his way to the plate for the second time this inning. Ball is low and inside for ball 1.
Do we have anyone warming up yet?
Not right now.
Well, it doesn't hurt to warm someone up.
A 1-0 to Bernard. Works its way outside for ball 2.
You know, someone would say, well, you're negative and wanting someone warming up. No, you're just playing heads-up baseball by being ready. You head them off at the pass. You don't let them get through.
(2-0) to Bernard. Called strike 1.
It looked like a change, did it not? What
bit.
was it, 80?
90.
It was 90,
90.
And I thought it was a change. My eyes must be going bad.
A 2-1 to Isaac Bernard. Called strike 2. And Bonner is potentially 1 pitch away from getting out of the inning.
Now, that was 92, and I would say, okay, that was 90. But, I mean, that first one, I can't believe it was 90 miles an hour.
A 2-2 to Isaac Bernard. And it's zoomed down the right field line, foul.
Well, the game is still early, Matthew, but 5 runs is a lot of runs to make up.
Especially in the recent weeks where the Otters have struggled to put up lots of
Exactly.
runs.
Where the Otters have struggled even when they get the bases loaded.
A 2-2 to Isaac Bernard. Pushed out, foul again. Only one other game going on right now. Sussex County at Ottawa. They were delayed due to rain. They're in the second inning, still scoreless. All summer long, the Otters were the only team that played the evening game on Sunday. And now on this Sunday, they're one of the only teams playing the noon game, and everybody else is playing tonight.
Oh.
So if you're an avid Frontier League watcher, you're going to have to wait till tonight to watch more. 2-2's high and outside, and we've got another full count.
You know, I think the Frontier League made the biggest mistake ever when they didn't give the presidency to excuse me, to our former general manager, Steve. He was the assistant general manager for years. He knows the league better than anybody, and to not even consider him is unbelievable.
3-2's outside, ball 4, and the bases are loaded once again.
And there's no one warming up.
And of course, you're talking about Steve Tassler, the deputy commissioner.
Steve Tassler, that's right.
He's the deputy commissioner right now. The league man works with a lot of the transactions in this league to make sure those stay up to date.
He's the most qualified. I mean, he knew this league better than anybody. And to be a former general manager of 3 teams, actually. He was a general manager of 3 different teams in this league.
Max Peterson goes out and has a quick word with his pitcher, Braden Bonner, as he has Jake Polancic warming up in the bullpen down there in right. Much like a few nights ago, the Otters just see this game run away. Except the last time it happened, they already had a 6-run buffer. This time, they've got to do it all in the back half of this game.
Right. Yeah, we came back to tie it, but we fell short, I believe, at the end.
That was the 9-7 win.
Yes.
That was George Khalil's home run that got us that one.
Yes.
First pitch to Rakusin. Misses inside, ball 1.
You know, this is when you lose the concentration of your ball players out there in the field. And you say, oh, my God, another ball. Oh, another ball. Oh, my God, he walked again. Your players, they're falling asleep.
1-0 to Rakusin, and he check swings and fouls it off to the right side. Well, the bright side is the majority of the TARP staff has been dismissed. They still have some people over there just in case, but it does look like the rain is going to miss us. We're going to be able to keep playing ball here.
Well, I don't see our general manager down there anymore. So
1-1 to Rakusin. A check swing. Did he go? No, he didn't, says the first base umpire, Mike Weinstein. Bases are loaded. A 2-1 count to Zach Rakusin.
And 2 outs.
The 2-1. Pushed right up the middle. A run's going to score, maybe 2. Baez plays it. The throw towards home. Will there be a play at the plate? No, but they get a runner.
No problem.
And they don't have him in between because Bierman went in to help man things over there, and everyone will be safe.
Yep.
2-run score.
So now we're down by 7. And that's the end of this guy. Here comes Max.
Max will
automatic
come back out.
takeout.
Braden Bonner's day will end. We'll let you know who's coming in for him right after this as the Otters looking for answers here. We go to the bottom, or we stay in the top of the 4th inning as Jake Polancic is going to try to help get the Otters out of this tough inning, as it was a struggle for Braden Bonner to find any success as he came in to help out Vinny Santasiero. Bonner got a couple outs, but he was not able to close things out. Polancic will have to be the one to get it done now.
Well, how many runs are charged to him? Like the other night when he gave up that triple.
2 of the runs are assigned to him, the other 5 to Santasiero.
So what's his ERA?
In the game?
Yeah,
27.
no, for the year now.
I'll have to go see.
Because, I mean, Ed knows once tonight.
Yeah.
And the other night with the bases loaded, so he must have ballooned. His ERA must have ballooned. Well, here we got a new pitcher. Bases are kind of.
First ball is hit down the left field line, but foul. And that time we have a good play from the bullpen as he had a glove on that time.
Yep.
There's runners at the corners with 2 outs.
And that bullpen. Oh, wait a minute. Now he's giving it away. He's going to give it away.
Ball bounces back towards the netting, and a run's going to score. It's going to be a wild pitch that allows another run to score. And
8 runs is a lot of runs to make up.
For the first time this year, the Otters have given up 8 runs in 1 inning.
Yeah, you said that the other night. 7.
It was 7.
You said that was the most. Thankfully, we're not playing tomorrow. It might be 9.
So that brings Trevor Achenbaugh back to the plates with a 1-1 count and now just a runner at second. Time is called as Achenbaugh now steps back in. A 1-1 to Trevor Achenbaugh on the way from Jake Plancic. Outside, ball 2.
I don't know if that was his curveball or slider, but it had a good break to it, whatever it was, a quick break. A sharp break.
Two balls and 1 strike. So Trevor Achenbaugh got him swinging at a high inside pitch, and the count evens up.
I'd like to wish a happy 75th birthday to Virgil Lawrence here at the ballpark this afternoon. Hello to Virgil and happy 75th birthday. Enjoy the rest of the day with the Otters.
Deuce is all over. 2-2 count, 2 outs, runner on second. And Jake Plancic is the second new pitcher in this inning alone. He'll step off after Achenbaugh called time. The 2-2 to Trevor Achenbaugh. Swinging strike 3, and finally the inning ends. But not before. 8 runs score for the Grizzlies. A lot of work to do for the Otters now. Well, we go to the bottom of the 4th inning, not at all where the Otters wanted to be, down by 8. This one got away from them in a hurry.
Top the order to you. For the Evansville Otters are Edward Jones, leadoff batter of the game, and left field 13, Brian
So back to the
Rosario.
top of the order we go for the Otters. Brian Rosario, Zach Bierman, and Jeffrey Baez due up. The Otters have not got a man on base yet today.
Nope. There haven't been a walk and haven't been a hit. In fact, they didn't even allow the team to make an error, so we could get out by an error. I mean, they've got, 4 strikeouts? Or we've struck out 4 times.
First pitch home, stays low, ball 1.
And throughout the year, we've struck out more than we've walked.
A 1-0 to Rosario. Taken for a called strike. Bases are empty, nobody out here as we start this inning. A 1-1 to Rosario. He shows bunt at the last second and takes it for ball 2. A 2-1 is sent on a line towards Diaz. He'll play it on 3 hops. The throw to first, once again, just barely beats Rosario. And he's down via the ground ball again.
That's good hustle down there by Rosario. At least he's refreshing.
First baseman, 45, Zach Bierman.
So Zach Bierman now heads to the plate. He really got a hold of a pitch his last time up, but it ended about 10 feet shy of the wall.
That flag is just hanging out there in center field now, isn't it? No breeze at all. A still day.
For a while, there was a good gust out towards left. That's gone now. First pitch to Bierman, taken for a called strike. Oh, 1. That's low and inside, so the count evens up for Zach Bierman. One ball, 1 strike. Bierman looking for anything here. Ball stays outside for ball 2.
Well, we'll take a walk if we can get it because we need an awful lot of runners on base. Now, last night we did have the runners on, but we couldn't bring them home.
Two 2-1 is zoomed to the right side, but foul. Two balls, 2 strikes for Zach Bierman. Ball pushed out towards the left side. Kraus thinks he has a play on it towards the warning track, and he grabs it for out number 2. So that now brings up Jeffrey Baez. Otters so far have gone 11 up, 11 down.
Center fielder, 33, Jeffrey Baez.
First pitch home to Baez. Stays low, ball 1.
You know, this pitcher's got the unusual delivery. Looks like he's holding that ball and snapping his wrist at the last minute.
It is a strange looking release.
Yes.
But it gets the job done.
Yeah, he's doing an excellent job. No hits yet, no runs. We're in the 4th inning.
A 2-0 to Baez. Stays low again.
Now that is something. Throwing a curveball on an 0-2 count. You've got a pretty good confidence in that curveball.
.3-0 counts well in favor of Baez. Call it ball 4, and the Otters have their first base runner.
That's a Deerhead Sidewalk Cafe and Bar.
So Steven Sinsley will now get ready to head to the plate. He was guilty of the pop-out his last time up.
Designated hitter, 21, Steven Sinsley.
Big time chance for Steven Sinsley to do something for the Otters here.
Well, there's a big gap there in left center.
First pitch home, in for a called strike. Runner on first is Jeffrey Baez. There's 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. Otters trail by 8. Pitch way inside, evens the count at 1-1. Well, when the tank ran out of gas on Vinny Santaciero, it ran out of gas hard, and it was a hard way for the Otters to watch this competitive game fall by the wayside. The swinging strike, too, has Sinsley back in the count.
Well, when you got a little fire, you try to put a little water on it to flame it out. When you get when the barn burns, it's pretty hard to call the fire department.
1-2 stays high, and the count evens up. Otters have tomorrow off before they head up towards the Windy City of Chicago to face Windy City for 3 and face Joliet for 3. There goes Baez, but it won't matter. It's a swinging strike 3 on Sinsley, and we will head to the 5th inning. Otters still looking for their first hit in this one. They trail by 8. We go to the top of the 5th inning. Otters down by 8 after in that 4th they gave up 8 runs on 4 hits. No errors involved there. It was just a lot of walks that really plagued them. First pitch to Kraus. Inside, ball 1.
Now, last night we took a meeting. Of course, the night before we won.
Ball cranked out towards left. Rosario back towards the warning track.
Plenty of room.
He will make it for out number 1.
I was going to say, last night we didn't score.
First baseman.
And night before, of course, we did come back with that big home run. But how many hits have we gotten in the 3 series? Not many at all.
Certainly not. First pitch to Freeman. Zoom towards right now. McNamee running towards it, and he makes the catch on the run.
What a play. If the fans out there watching this ball game going to say, well, the Otters aren't hitting well, but you got to give those ball players credit. They are making some spectacular defensive plays.
Strikeout batter of the game.
We've watched
Shortstop,
Crocodile George and
Untitled
Short.
Chapter.
We've watched Armstrong. We've watched Baez out there, and of course Big Mac there in right field. Who's better than him?
2 outs, nobody on. The first pitch to Abdiel Diaz, called strike.
You know, Matthew, if you think if some of these defensive players didn't make those sensational plays, the scores could have been 20 instead of 8. Could have been 20.
Oh, 1. Diaz just fouls that back into the netting. He stays behind the count 0-2. Looked like that one made him really choked up as he was trying to stretch out the hands after that one. Could have been a little hand stinger on the ball. 0-2. Swinging strike 3. And the inning ends 1-2-3. We head to the bottom half of the 5th. Otters trail by 8. We are at the Center Point Energy, center point of the game. Evansville on the wrong side of a 8-0 ball game thus far, and it was all one inning. It was just walk after walk after walk, single after walk, and that's what really killed him.
Third baseman, J.R. Davis.
J.R. Davis at the plate now. You know, I wish that there was a way you could look at the statistic where they put all of the walked causing errors into unearned runs. You could see that just how many runs are given up due to walks.
Yes. That'd be a good thing because, again, a walk is just as good as a hit or an error. And when you walk somebody, you're just giving them a free pass to have someone on the base to score.
0-1 to Davis, misses a bit low, and the count evens.
I don't know how you look at it, but I think pitchers today are concentrating on velocity, and they're not concentrating on control. And what good is it if you throw 100 miles an hour, but you can't throw strikes? Now, if you're a Nolan Ryan and you're in the major leagues, then they got coaches that just work with you.
A 1-2 is outside.
Who was that one with Seattle? I tried to get a trade going with him. Johnson. Sandy? But not Sandy. Johnson. That was a flamethrower but had no control. And then after that, he gained his control. He was one of the better pitchers. Johnson, anyway.
2-2 the count to J.R. Davis. Nobody out, nobody on here in the fifth inning. Three-two count after the ball three, and J.R. Davis trying to get something started for the Otters. 3-2, swinging, strike three. And Davis says, will that have been outside? I think so.
And the umpire, he said, where was that? The umpire said, as you said, high and outside. Was it a strike? No. See, that's what I mean about chasing bad pitches. If we're following the ball, anytime we've got to stretch and reach for a pitch, it's not over the plate.
Elijah McNamee making his way to the plate now. First pitch is a called strike on the inside edge.
Have you ever seen Max look at the first pitch? I don't think I ever did. He's always seems to be a strike behind on the first. On the first pitch against him, he's always a strike behind.
Thank you, Super Weapon. That overhead ball.
Just like now. It's
Instruction.
two strikes, no balls.
Yeah, to the count.
He has a lot of those counts.
One out, nobody on. It's another one I'd like to know that unfortunately is not stored anywhere is what percentage of 0-2 counts end up in strike do the Otters end up striking out
That'd be interesting.
at some point in the at-bat, because it feels like
that'd be interesting.
it feels like not only do they get to 0-2 a lot, they always end in strikeouts, even if they get themselves a ball or two. A 1-2, swinging strike three, and it's back-to-back strikeouts to kick off this fifth.
And that was another chance of a pitch that was way out of the strike zone.
Shortstop 28, George Khalil.
So before Khalil steps in, they'll wipe off home plate.
That was dirty. Home plate was dirty.
And now we're ready to go with the first pitch to the Australian shortstop, George Khalil. It catches the zone on the high inside corner, strike one. The 0-1 for Khalil. Swinging, strike two.
You know, Matthew, you watch batting practice. Do they still throw the ball about 40 feet and lob the ball in? You know, at 40 miles.
To the right side, down for a base hit.
At first base hit for the Otters, and it comes in the fifth inning. The reason I ask is, in what game in regular baseball does a pitcher be 40 feet away and lob the ball in at 40, 50 miles an hour? I think that's the biggest waste of time. And there's no curveballs. It's just a big floater here. What's the sense of you just as well stay on the sideline and take a few swings at the air?
First pitch to Felix. Catches the low part of the zone for a called strike.
To solve my own solution, what it's called, it's home run derby. That's what the batting practice is now. It's home run derby.
A swinging strike has Felix back. 0-2 in the count.
Now try to go back in your memory. Even today's game, And you look at our strikeouts, many are always on the curveball because we don't follow it. And so batting practice, here's a lob, but then you don't get the curveball. You come in here and the guy gives you a little wrinkle and you go chasing it way out of the strike zone.
1 ball, 2 strikes for Justin Felix. Otters trying to follow Khalil's base hit with something else.
Well, it's embarrassing to have a no-hitter throw. There goes again. Strike.
And a swinging strike 3 will sit down Felix. Otters do get their first base hit of the game, but all 3 outs are via the strikeout, and we head to the 6th inning. Otters still down by 8. Well, we head to the top of the 6th inning. Otters still searching for anything in this game. Finally just got their first hit of this ball game. And Jake Blantick's going to return onto the mound for another inning. He was very efficient his last inning out. 3 up, 3 down.
At second base for Jay Prather.
Inning will be Jay Prather, Alex Hernandez, and Andrew Pinner due up. First pitch to Prather is high, ball 1.
You know, I'm just thinking here, Matthew. Again, the Gateway's got the shortest porch in the league, and yet their home run ratio is not that great to others. And I'm thinking, here in this series, how many times has the Gateway players hit anything close to being a home run in this ballpark? I mean, of all the at-bats. Now, yes, there might have been a home run, but of all the at-bats, there's not many balls going to the right field.
Yeah, other than those 2 triples who were both maybe
right center.
10 feet short.
Yeah.
But everything else has been fairly shallow.
Exactly.
One ball, 2 strikes for Jay Prather. Swinging strike 3. And Polancic grabs his 3rd strikeout of the game.
Sherman American Bank strikeouts. Catcher 25, Alex Hernandez.
So Alex Hernandez now heads to the plate. His last time up, he brought in 2 with an RBI single.
During the big 8-run inning.
First pitch in is inside, ball 1 for Hernandez. Defense is spread out in the infield as well. That creates a pretty big gap up the middle, as to be expected.
You know, do you know why Norton is not playing center field? I mean, he's out there.
Yeah, I wondered the same thing, and it'll probably be one of my questions tomorrow or even Tuesday when we get ready for the road trip. I was surprised to see Gordon miss another game. I thought last night was probably a routine day off.
Right.
But to not see him today again worries me.
He's
listed as an available bat. Last night he was ready to come into the game as a center fielder.
Right, exactly.
But I'm still kind of scratching my head there.
Yeah, that's what bothers me. I'm not knocking Baez out there in center.
And a
but
swinging
the point
strike
is,
3.
He's not no Norton.
Means back-to-back German-American Bank strikeouts in this inning and 3 straight for Jake Polansek.
The order. Third baseman 2, Andrew Penner.
Polansek actually, a couple of nights ago, threw his 150th strikeout of his career, and he jumps into this game and puts 4 more up. And starts off with a called strike.
This man has been a menace. Penner.
The former Otter, Andrew Penner, scored a couple of big runs last night. 0-1, pushed out to the right side, but foul.
Overhead foul ball brought to you by Heads Construction. Choose the best, never regret it.
0-2 is the count quickly for Andrew Penner. And a chance for Polansek to strike out the side. The 0-2 just misses. Two outs, nobody on. Counts at 1-2. Pitch on the way. Fouled into the netting. One ball, 2 strikes for the third baseman, Andrew Penner. There's 2 outs. Polansek has himself ready on the bump. Fires home on the 1-2. Swinging strike 3, and he struck out the side. Jake Polansek with a solid outing, but unfortunately it's come after. The Otters gave up 8 in that earlier inning. They still trail by 8 here on the Otters Digital Network. Well, we head to the bottom of the 6th. The Otters still searching for some offense. It's Armstrong, Rosario, and Bierman, 2 up in the half inning. First pitch to Armstrong. Outside, ball 1.
Brought that third baseman in, and that's the object. But again, he followed the pitch way on outside, too.
The 1-0 for Armstrong. Taken for a called strike.
Third baseman backed up after he took the third strike, and third baseman backed up. Figuring he just bluffed the bunt on the first one.
A 1-1 swung on and missed, and he's back to 1-2 in the count.
It looked like Andy didn't want to swing it that way, didn't it? It was just a last-minute desperation.
I think it was at the last second he saw it was coming towards the strike zone.
Yeah.
Ball sent to the left side, off the ground, off the heel of the glove of Pinner. And Armstrong's going to reach on an error.
This is where you thought the
Official
official score would be, a little, say, hey, maybe that might help to have 2 hits.
So the Edward Jones leadoff hitter of the game, Brian Rosario, heads to the plate. He shows bunt and sends it 2 wide. Both of Rosario's first options, he's almost beat the ground ball to first.
Yes, and in both cases we commented about his hustle going down the first base line.
Jacob Bowles has been warming for the Otters for a little bit. Could be the next inning guy. Ball sent foul to the left side, and Rosario's down 0-2.
Well, the Otter pitcher that was out there just struck out the side, did he not?
Yeah.
So why would he want to change him?
I don't think they want to change him. I think it's a just in case because in the games Polancic has pitched, he'll when he's pitching like this, he'll go really good, and then the second it turns off.
Okay.
So they want to probably just be prepared for him because probably don't want to give up any more in this game.
Now let me ask you a question, Matthew. You just gave a good analysis of a description of our pitcher. Don't others see the same thing?
It's possible.
You can see things up here that would benefit the team. Don't others see the same thing?
Well, and that's the thing about a lot of the bullpen arms. Polancic has had a lot of outings. He's come in and thrown nothing but balls almost and gives up 2-3 runs. But then there's opportunities like today where he is very efficient. A hard hit ball by Rosario to the right side. And there's 2 runners on for the Otters for the first time today.
And the second base hit. So we did get that second base hit.
Rosario gets himself a hit there. That extends his hit streak. And Zach Bierman's at the plate. Obviously, there would still be a lot of room to go. But if Bierman can find a pitch here and drive it out of this ballpark, it immediately gives the Otters some momentum.
Yeah, and I don't see any action down there in their bullpen yet.
First pitch to Bierman, taken for strike 1. Bierman has gotten very stingy with the first pitch. He's gotten really into a mood where he's wanting to see what the pitcher's going to give him on the first opportunity. The 0-1 works high and in.
Well, it's not going to take the long ball. It's going to take little base hits by base hits, a little league baseball.
A 1-1 zoom down the right field line, but foul. Second time today, Bierman has zoomed one down that line, but it's been well foul.
And if you noticed when he kind of followed it, and then a little desperation, oh my God.
Frustration.
Yes.
Ball zoomed to the left side towards Kraus, who will make a catch for out number 1, and because Armstrong was off second, he won't be able to advance.
Well, I don't think he would have been able to advance anyway because left field to third base is not that far as the throw goes. but that was well hit. Bierman has been hitting the ball solidly. May not be getting the base hits we expect, but he is hitting the ball solidly. He has been a great addition to the Otters this year.
A guy you certainly hope stays in Evansville next year.
Yes.
1 out, runners at first and second. The pitch to Jeffrey Baez is swung on and missed for strike 1.
I think Baez, when he sees that floater coming in, he gets so excited. And he never touches it. I mean, never fouls him off. He just swings at him. He swings in air.
An 0-1 to Baez. Takes it a little inside for ball 1. And things pause for a second.
Well, we sure as heck don't want to be embarrassed and have a shutout. So if Baez could get a base hit, Armstrong's the score. It's like pounding salt in an open wound.
Ball sent to the left side, through for a base hit. Armstrong's going to stay put at third. He got the stop sign from Andy McCauley, and the bases are now loaded.
Well, I got the base hit I asked for, but Andy was stopping him way before the left fielder ever got to the ball.
And part of me wonders if that is respecting the arm of Krause out there, who, when he's not playing left, is a catcher.
Well, you may be right.
So they'll have a quick chat up on the mounds.
And then you look at it this way. Andy didn't want to kill a rally. So rather than gamble, he held him up. So that might be the best move.
Right now you need the runs.
Right.
So,
1 run don't count.
Yeah. Do want to take a look at what's going on throughout the Frontier League. Florence and Joliet are getting a late start. Looked like there was rain in the area there. Ottawa currently leads 4-0 over Sussex County. They started late because of rain. They're in the 4th inning. And just getting underway is Empire State at New York. Gray's trying to avoid the sweep. Steven Sinsley stepping in now with a huge opportunity. 1 out, bases are jammed. And he takes a first pitch strike. Of course, there's going to be a lot of attention at that Trois-Rivières Quebec game tonight, as if Trois-Rivières can win, it'll be 9 straight losses for Quebec.
Really?
And potentially could knock them out of first place after everything falls.
9 losses.
No, we'd have to wait 1 more day. Ottawa's at 3 games back, but Quebec is 1-9 in their last 10 games. They've lost 9 straight, or 8 straight coming into today.
Oh, it lost 8 straight.
They could lose 9 tonight.
Oh.
Yeah, life has gotten very hard there. Hefty swing on the 1-1, drops Sinsley back 1-2. For a while, Quebec was sitting in first by about 8 games over second place, and now it's a 3-game buffer. The first to fourth place teams in the East are separated by just 6 games now.
So it's a wild card race.
Yeah, I mean, even the 7th place team's only 10 games out right now.
Yeah.
So anything is going to happen in this West, or this East.
Strikeout.
And a strikeout for Sinsley, as the Otters now with 2 outs. Base is still loaded. And that's 9 strikeouts on the day for Weinberg.
9 strikeouts. And that was on the curveball, but not as sharp. It just had to be low. Yeah, since they went golfing for that, which the last 2 swings were golf swings. That might drop. That might drop.
Chasing in is the left fielder, and he brings it in for out number 3. Okay. Wonderful catch there from Krause. Ends the Otters' opportunity, and we head to the 7th. Otters still down by 8. Jacob Bowles entering the game for the Otters, trying to help keep Gateway off the board any further. Right now, everything's happened in one inning. The top of the fourth, Gateway scored 8. That has been all of the runs in this game.
Right fielder, 20, Isaac Bernard.
Let's call the bullpens presented by our friends at Business Communication Solutions. Contact BCS for all your business solution needs.
Well, you know, you look at it last night, 1-1-1, 1-1-1. There wasn't that many hits and that many runs. When you look up at the scoreboard now, you look and you see, oh, Gateway's got 4 hits. The Otters have 3. That's not, that's not a lot of ball killing.
It's been the walks.
A lot of walks.
First pitch catches the outside edge for a called strike 1.
So if you add, their 4 hits with maybe, 5 walks or so? That's 9 hits then.
Ball zoomed out towards center. Baez chasing back towards the wall, at the wall, gone. Another run for Gateway, this one on a solo home run.
And that'd be out whether it's Gateway or here. 400 feet. My God.
And that one just adds to this big day for Gateway.
Yeah. They'll have a nice trip
Center
home.
fielder, number 8, Zach Rakusa.
First pitch to Zach Rakusin is outside, ball 1. Jacob Bowles enters the game, and the first batter he sees hits a home run off of him. The 1-0 stays outside. It's 2-0. It had been a while since Bowles had appeared in a game. I was wondering what had been keeping him out of games for so long. Wasn't sure if it was a lingering injury of some sort or if it was just other guys in line in front of him. It was just kind of hard to tell what was the cause of Bowles' absence for as long as he was.
Yeah, he was used quite often, but prior to that.
It seemed almost every game he'd come in for an inning or so.
Right.
As the ball's lifted out towards right, McNamee's going to chase in, call everybody off, and bring it in for out number 1.
Yeah, that's. I'll tell you what, I never did understand Andy's way of managing and whether Max controls the pitchers. And I just don't know, but.
Yeah, Bowles was using almost every single game as they went up into and past the All-Star break, and then in the second game against Sussex County, gave up a run on a hit in his 1 inning, and we haven't seen him since until today. It's good to see that he's all right and able to pitch.
Yes.
I was worried something had happened.
Well, I think a couple times you said, well, he's warming up in the bullpen, but he never did come into the game.
The 0-1 catches the zone.
There's such a thing as called the manager's doghouse. You know, sometimes you get in the wrong way with the manager, and that means you don't play. I'm not saying that's the case. I just mentioning it.
A 0-2 to Achenbach. Outside, ball 1. The 1-2 to Achenbach. Outside again.
You know, at one time, didn't we have like 12 pitchers on our roster?
I believe they're still carrying 12 right now.
Is that right?
Yes, they are, with the 5 starters and the 7 bullpen arms.
7 bullpen arms?
That's what I count, yeah.
Well, maybe some of those starters ought to go to the bullpen.
Well, that's the problem. They haven't even had 5 starters in 3 weeks until Watland was finally able to come back. Now they're back to a 5-man rotation. The ball since fouled off to the left, which I say that, but as I think harder about it, one of the moves to bring Watland back in was releasing Bryce Studeville, so it takes you back down to 4. So it's possible the Otters are sticking with a 4-man rotation right now because every time they finally had a rotation that worked, a starter gets called up to the next level. The ball gets zoomed into left field on a 3-2 for a base hit. Because right now it's been Gossman, Adcock, O'Reilly, and Watland as the 4 starters, and that's been about it.
And Grossman.
Yeah, Gossman.
You say Gossman. I call him Grossman.
Yeah.
Okay. You're more correct.
That's why Santa Sierra was starting today, just to give the 4-man rotation a day. First pitch to Kevin Krause.
Who says a 4-man rotation is not right? I mean, who is there to say in between 2 days, 3 days? You know, in high school, you play on Tuesday and Friday. It could be the same pitcher every day, every Tuesday, every Friday.
Called strike evens the count at 1-1 for Kevin Krause.
You kind of like this guy. You're always bragging about his power.
Krause is a guy I think you just have to keep him circled on the roster card and make sure you're not giving him one of those lazy, I need a strike pitches.
Right. You know, I remember Brocado, was it Brocado?
Brocado, yeah.
Yeah, and you liked him, and I noticed he's up there in home runs and RBIs in the league.
A half swing. Did he go? No, he didn't, says the first base umpire. And that's a good call. The fans here at Bossy don't agree, but.
No, it wasn't. He didn't go. It was a good call.
Two-two. A half swing. They'll check again.
Now let me
They're
ask you,
saying that
Matthew.
yes, he did. The home plate umpire said yes, he did go around.
Oh, I disagree with it, but anyway.
That's
And is it possible,
strikeouts.
you're a statistics man, is it possible to figure out,
First baseman, 6, Clint Freeman.
like we know, starting pitcher throws 80 pitches, and we know 35 were strikes and the rest were balls. Is there any way to figure out the team's, not the individual, but the team's record of how many pitches, maybe, in other words, as of now, let's say the Otters pitchers have thrown 30,000 pitches, but out of the 30,000, only 5 were strikes.
Yeah, I'm not sure where I'd find that, actually.
But it may be interesting there.
Yeah. I know 1 to Freeman. Well inside. And that evens the count at 1-1.
The reason I mentioned that is when you look up and it's a 2-1, 2 balls, 1 strike, or 3 balls, 1 strike. That's a lot of pitches.
A 1-1. Stays outside. Otters do not return home until Tuesday the 16th. That's just over a week away, as the next 6 games are on the road.
And that'll be Taco Tuesday.
Indeed, it will be. 2-1 swung on and missed by Freeman.
That was a pretty hard cut on a good breaking pitch that cut right into his thighs there.
The 2-2. Inside ball 3.
See, this is what I was trying to say. Here we got a 3-2 count. Now, no matter what happens, that's still 5 pitches that he's thrown.
A 3-2 to Clint Freeman. He pushes that one foul on what should have been ball 4.
Big Red tells me that overhit foul ball. Brought to you
Yeah,
by
but give the guy credit.
Choose the
He
best.
was protecting the plate,
Never regret it.
which is what you got to do with 2 strikes. You can't just sit and watch that ball go floating across the plate for strike 3.
Zoomed ball out towards right. McNamee chases back a few steps, and it ends up in his glove for out number 3. But a solo home run from Isaac Bernard gives the Grizzlies 1 more. They now lead by 9. And a new pitcher on the mound for Gateway as we head to this bottom of the 7th inning. It'll be Carson Cupo, who will make his first appearance since coming off the COVID IL list earlier this weekend. Enters the game with a 5.19 ERA and 26 innings of work.
Leading off for the Evansville Otters.
On the bullpens, presented by our friends at Business Communication Solutions. Contact BCS for all your business solution needs. Well, the Otters last time up got the bases loaded, did nothing with it though.
That has been a story all year long, hasn't it?
Bases loaded with 1 out and still couldn't bring one in.
Yep.
But even worse, then they allowed a run in the other half. First pitch to McNamee, sent on the ground to the left side, played into the glove of Penner. The throw to first just beats McNamee. Great play there.
And good hustle going down the base path, I'll say that. That's one thing as a scout impresses me, is how much hustle you have.
Shortstop, 28, George Khalil.
George Khalil at the plate now with nobody on and 1 out. It's inside for ball 1.
Well, we did have quite a few fans out there in the patio, the Corona patio, but looks like there's only 3 of them left now. But at one time, I'd say it was well occupied.
$2-0 to Khalil, and that one's the first called strike.
Now, if you guys, leave Tuesday morning to go on the road, do you get a package lunch?
Zoomed ball to the left side is going to fall for extra bases for Khalil. He'll round first, and he'll be into second with a easy stand-up double.
I tell you what, he's been hitting that ball pretty solidly within the last couple weeks.
That's a really solid base hit there. I mean, he got good contact.
Oh, yeah. Well, I always look at the outfielders. When I see the ball going in the outfield, I watch the outfielders, how they run.
The catcher.
And it tells you
Felix.
a lot. Here comes Justin. But no, I was wondering if you get a baggy lunch or something when.
Usually.
Yeah, because that's a 5-hour ride at least. Plus, the players don't get paid that much, to be honest.
The first pitch to Justin Felix. Zoomed out towards right. Bernard will work back a few steps and eventually bring it in for out number 2. Khalil's going to advance to third on the fly ball.
Well, you couldn't hit it much further without going out of the ballpark than what Felix did. So it was an easy advance from second to third for George.
Second baseman, 1, Andy Armstrong.
So Armstrong's at number 1 now. And that was someone else's number.
Gary Mattis at the beginning of the year, and then for a while, Anthony Torrellis. First pitch works inside for ball 1 on Armstrong.
I remember when I played, they give you a shirt, and I didn't know what the number was until you looked at it. I mean, you didn't say, oh, I want 9.
The 1-0, taken for another strike.
I remember we were fortunate to be on the team, let alone argue about what uniform number.
A 1-1 sent foul to the right side.
An overhead foul ball brought to you by Ed's Construction. Choose the best, never regret it.
Long wait as Armstrong makes his way back towards the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes. There's a runner on third and 2 outs. And it's bounced towards the left side. Penner will play it into the glove over to first, and it's way overthrown. A run's going to score on the air, and Armstrong is going to advance all the way towards third. The throw across won't be in time, and it's a 2-base error.
I could tell it was a bad throw, and I didn't see it. I was just watching Penner when after he threw that ball. I don't know, you notice he flipped his glove. I knew it was a bad throw. Give Armstrong credit for hustling.
Edward Jones.
Only in this ballpark does a throwing error to first result in 3 bases.
Well, from first to third. That it's not from from home to third, not from first to third. That's a long, 90? That's, I think 3 times 90 is
270.
Thank you, sir.
So the Otters are officially on the board. A called
Thank
strike
God.
to Rosario has him down in the count. Rosario finally picked up his first base hit, his last time up, but he was left stranded at second.
Another red foul ball is brought to you by
Ball fouled away, and Rosario's back at the count 0-2.
She got one of those cooking gloves in his back pocket. Big
Does
red
look like
thing
it.
sticking out.
The 0-2. Swinging strike 3, and the Otters will have to settle with just 1 run here in the inning as a strikeout ends things. We head on to the 8th. Evansville trails 9-1.
That's a 10th strikeout for the Otters, right?
We go to the bottom of the 7th. A new pitcher in for the Otters, Kevin Davis, 6'9" righty out of Orland Park, is going to get the nod. And he has a new battery mate as well, as John Anthon will enter the game behind the plate. It's called the Bullpens, presented by our friends at Business Communication Solutions. Contact BCS, all your business solution needs.
So here we are in the 8th inning, and it's a 9-1 ball game.
First
Doesn't
pitch
give
to
the Otters
Diaz.
much chance to score 8.
They've struggled to score 8 in whole games, 9 full innings, let
Yeah.
alone 2. A 1-0 to Diaz. Called strike evens the count up. The 1-1 to Diaz. Pushed foul to the left.
Now, where did this guy come from, this pitcher?
He was another one picked up from USC Upstate, where the Otters pitching staff, of course, has connections and has brought a lot of guys through in the last few years.
In California.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where Boots recruits. Boots Day, one of the former coaches.
Ball zoomed out to the left, and it's caught by Rosario in left field.
And, of course, Bax is from San Diego.
Second baseman.
Sorry, I had the wrong USC Upstate. It's actually from the University of South Carolina Upstate.
Oh, okay, South Carolina.
But he played a full 3 years at USC Upstate in the Big South Conference.
Okay.
While he was there, he had a career ERA just over 3.0 and pitched well over 80 innings in his career.
In professional or college?
3 years of college ball.
80 innings of college ball.
Yeah. All of them being relief appearances.
Really?
A 1-0 to Prather. And it's a half-hearted swing for strike 1.
80 innings in relief.
And in those 80 innings, he had 116 strikeouts. The 1-1 is sent foul again. Well, the bright side is that even though we had a close call earlier in the game, there is no rain possibilities. We are going to be good to go now. Thought we might see something earlier, but all is well.
You know, speaking of Max in San Diego, you ever been there?
I have not.
That is one of the most beautiful cities. The temperature is always like 78 to 80. And it's a sweater, light jacket temperature. At nighttime, not during the day.
1-2 to Prather. It is lifted foul to the left side. There goes Davis after it in foul territory, and it drops right in front of him as he goes jumping into the bullpen, trying to make sure he didn't clobber one of the guys.
Well, I'm just wondering, did that guy sitting down save him? Instead of going further over that fence, did that guy save him?
It's possible.
Yeah.
But it's good to see that he's all right. Second time he's had an altercation with a immovable object over there on the left side.
Well, I'll put it this way. That last allocation, whatever you said, didn't affect his going after the next one.
The 1-2 to Jay Prather. High outside ball 2. A little bit of a wait before the next pitch from Davis. The 2-2 swung on and missed for a strikeout.
And
Sherman American Bank strikeouts.
I don't know what that was, but it looked like an off-speed pitch, and he was way out in front. How did we get him if we came from South Carolina? How did we get him? On a trade or just work out?
No, it was just a I was told that we had someone who had connections to the team that not recruited, but referenced him to the coaching staff here in Evansville. They had him for a workout and liked what they saw.
Right. So Boots might have recommended him, and they signed him. Yeah, okay.
0-1 is swung on and missed for strike 2. Boots is still listed on the staff for the Otters this year as he was the spring training instructor, and he's also done some first base coaching here a couple series earlier this summer.
Oh, he has?
Yeah, when the team went to Gateway, since he lives in St. Louis, he popped out there and helped out that series.
Oh, no kidding.
And then while you were gone last week against Tri-City, he manned first base.
Oh.
Back-to-back German-American Bank strikeouts from Kevin Davis in this half inning. 3 up, 3 down. We head to the bottom half of the 8th. Otters need the offense to come quick.
Give them a call, 812-475.
Pitching change as we go to the bottom of the 8th. Colton Easterwood gets the nod for Gateway. The 6'5" righty out of Troy, Tennessee. We'll try to keep this game where it's at. An 8-run advantage for the Gateway Grizzlies. This call to the bullpen is presented by our friends at Business Communication Solutions. Contact BCS for all your business solution needs. Well, the Otters have Bierman, Baez, and Sinsley due up. These are bats that can change the game, but unfortunately, it's going to need more than these 3 to come back in this one.
Okay, now let me ask you a question. If the Otters were to lose and Washington was to win, where is the 3rd to 4th team in reference to moving up on us?
Well, first baseman, 45, Zach Bierman.
Schaumburg has been sprinting up towards the Otters, and potentially today you could see the Otters fall to would be 6.5 back, and Schaumburg could stay at 8 games back.
So there'll be a 3-game or 2-game.
It would go down to a 2-game deficit.
Right. So if we were on a losing streak of 5 games, we may be fighting for life to be in the playoffs.
Absolutely.
Okay.
But one of the teams that's fighting for it is Joliet, who we'll see next weekend. So a chance for the Otters to win those head-to-head games and have that team that's coming for your spot and push them back down a little further.
Secure your spot, right. Or lose it.
Yeah. Because of the Otters' final 24 games after today's, they play 2 series against Florence, 2 series against Windy City, 2 series at Washington, and 2 series against Joliet.
So Washington is going to be, I mean, we may be in the playoffs, but Washington's going to determine they're in first.
Yeah.
But if Washington was to beat us in both series and one of those other teams that would be on a winning streak, we may be saying goodbye to the 2022 season.
Very, very possible.
Yes. I mean, something you thought 2 or 3 weeks ago you were secured. You automatically had the playoffs.
A 2-2 to Bierman. Stays inside.
I think when Washington was here the last time, we were talking about first place. Remember?
Yeah, in fact, if the Otters had won the series, they would have been at the All-Star break in first place.
Right.
But instead,
we lost 2 out of 3 to Washington in that series.
And because of that, they went into the All-Star break with a deficit of 1,
That's into your head,
which 3 days later grew to 4. after the series at Sussex County, and since then has just kept building and building. It's at 5.5, which is the largest it's been all season long.
Center fielder, 33, Jeffrey Baez.
Now, you could change my mind for me, but I think in that last Washington series here, the third baseman, who is no longer with us, made a big error, and Adcock had 10 strikeouts, but that one error was the big downfall. It opened up the gates, and they scored 2 or 3 runs, and we lost.
Half swing from Baez. It won't matter. It's a called strike.
I think they took 2 out of 3 from
They
us,
did.
and yet we could have won 2 out of the 3.
And the win that the Otters got was against the former MLB pitcher, Rob Whalen.
Right, yep.
0-1 to Baez. Stays low, and the count evens up. I think the Otters have a say in if they're going to be in the playoffs or not. And it will be decided in the 6 road games at Windy City. Of course, at Washington. Of course, every other game still matters, but those 6, I think, really determine if this team makes the playoffs or doesn't.
And we've got to go into an attitude of we're good. We can play anybody and win, rather than go in there. Let's hope we win.
These guys are good.
Yeah.
You got to go in saying we are going to win. We are the better team.
Exactly.
And
We
we're
win with
gonna
a
prove
positive
it. Yeah.
attitude. I used to tell the kids, well, Bob Feller or Roger Clemens or whoever is pitching today. Oh, my God, they're great.
Ball sent to the right side, through for a base hit. And there's runners at first and second with no outs here in the 8th.
Right. So right away, there's fear. Well, 2 good, great pitchers. Well, then what's the sense of you batting if the pitcher has already intimidated you?
Designated
You want me to say, well, Roger Clemens is pitching. Great, because I always said, give me a chance to hit against him. You always go a positive. Well, wouldn't it be great if the Otters could score 6 or 7, maybe not 9, but 6 or 7?
First pitch to Steven Sinsley is through the legs of the catcher Hernandez, and both runners are going to advance.
You notice this pitcher when in his delivery, it looks like he's off balance or something. He's got an unusual delivery.
Oh, 1 for Steven Sinsley.
Well, base hit could bring in 2. And somebody's warming up already over there. See now, this manager's not taking a chance. He's got an 8-run lead, and he's not going to take any chance.
He's making sure that it stays.
Yep.
0-1 to Sinsley. Sent on the ground to the right side, right at Prather. He'll go to first for the fielder's choice RBI for Steven Sinsley. The Otters have a second run.
And the runner moves up to third in scoring position.
Third baseman, to J.R. Davis.
That guy down warming up is a side armor. Watch him delivery.
Oh, boy.
Wow.
(9-2) the score as J.R. Davis watches the first pitch strike go across.
And that guy down there in the bullpen's hurrying up, too. He's not fooling around.
Another pitch stays outside. And Davis even at 1-1.
You know, JR maybe batting 274, but he's been hitting solid shots. They haven't been hits, but they've been good contact hits.
Ball fouled away, and count will go to 1-1.
Overhead foul ball brought to you by Heads Construction. Choose the best. Never regret.
1-2 for J.R. Davis. Sent on the ground to the left side. Played by Penner. The throw to first in time, and that will be in time for out number 2. The Otters score one more on a fielder's choice.
Boy, they would look good. Those 2 runs would look good if it was a closer game.
I was about to say the Otters are bringing in runners, but unfortunately it comes a little too late.
I bet they're back in Washington watching this game, as well as different other places.
First pitch to McNamee, rides high and inside, ball 1.
I can remember in '84, I was scouting in the major leagues and constantly kept looking up at the roof where they would have the running scores of the major league teams, and you're always looking to see where the second place team was. At that time, it was Atlanta Braves, and you were always looking at what's the score at Atlanta, and your concentration was you wanted to win the league by itself, but you were also looking for some help.
McNamee falls back or gets a head in the count, 3-0 now.
And it ended up just like you were talking about. We ended up winning it solidly against Atlanta, down in Atlanta.
Ball stays low, and McNamee's going to get himself a 4-pitch walk.
Now, how many walks has that been for both sides?
Cafe and Bar.
10 total.
10 total for. Now that is ridiculous.
Shortstop 28, George Khalil.
So now it's George Khalil making his way to the plate.
Now George has been hitting that ball pretty solid too. I bet if George gets on, I bet this guy's out of there.
Khalil takes another pitch. This one a called strike, and the count evens. Make it a 1-2 count.
Doesn't look like he's going to go to third base and then comes home. His delivery is deceiving.
A 1-2 is high and inside. And that takes the count all even to 2-2. Two. Swinging strike 3, and that's how the inning ends. The Otters scored 2, though, and bring themselves just a little bit closer. 9th inning coming at you next. To the 9th inning we go. Otters still searching for offensive answers here, but they are able to bring in a couple of runs and bring the deficit to 6.
So what is it? 6 hits for Gateway, 5 hits for the Otters, but 9 runs for Gateway, 3
The
for
walks
the
have
Otters.
proven incredibly dangerous today. Kevin Davis is staying up there on the bump for the Otters. And the final warm-up pitch has been tossed, and we're ready to go here in the ninth. Penner, Bernard, and Rakusin are due up in the half inning.
Top of the team for the Gateway Grizzlies, third baseman 2, Andrew Penner.
Seems like Penner keeps coming up to an awful lot of times to plate.
His fifth one of the night. And the pitch comes home. And it's sent out foul to the right side. Out of play, strike one. At 0-1 for Andrew Penner. And he pushes it off to the right side. There goes McNamee running back towards the warning track. And he snags it for out number one. Otters back in action Tuesday night at Windy City.
Isaac Bernard.
That game is going to be available here on the Otters Digital Network. Audio only for free. Or, of course, on Flow Sports with the Windy City broadcast team giving you all the action.
Well, it seems a couple of years back, I'm going to say 2, our broadcaster discovered a good Italian pizza restaurant there in Windy City. So I guess Andy and the coaching staff's the only ones that would know where it's at.
Well, all 3 nights, 7:05 first pitches.
Okay.
Just outside the Windy City. And that is Central Time, so 7:05 here on the Otters Digital Network. I'll bring you every pitch, all 3 games. Then the team heads to Joliet for the end of the weekend, 6:45 on Friday night, 6:05 on Saturday before a Sunday matinee just like this one.
Yeah, David was our broadcaster. Had a Korean, or no, Vietnamese, I think it was, ancestry there, his mother. And I tell you what, he was the one that came up with that pizza place.
1-2 to Bernard. Zoom to the right side, and it'll drop in front of McNamee for a base hit.
I don't know where David is now, but he left us. He was going down to North Carolina to do college football. I don't know whatever happened to him. He was a real nice guy. In fact, 99% of all the broadcasters I've had the experience or pleasure of working with have been nice people. And I'm including you in that group.
Oh, that's good.
Yes.
Zach Rakusin ready for his first pitch, his 5th at-bat of the day. Taken for a called strike. An 0-1. Push towards Armstrong at second. He'll go to second for 1, to first in time, and that's how the top of the ninth ends. Last chance for the Otters comes at you next here on the Otters Digital Network at Flow Sports. Bottom of the ninth, and a new man on the mound for Gateway. Alec Whaley will get the nod out of the bullpen. Was just signed a little while ago out of Murray State University.
And our substitute catcher will be batting for the first time.
John Anthon, Andy Armstrong, and Brian Rosario, the 3 due up. First pitch home, called strike. The 0-1, well outside, and the count evens up. One on the ground, bouncing towards Diaz. He'll throw over to first, and just barely stays low enough for out number 1.
But made solid contact, and that's all you're asking.
Wouldn't be surprised to see Anthon's workload stay a little high this week. Felix is still bothering him with that shoulder/neck injury. We might see Anthon a little more this week. So making solid contact, a good way to get launched into the week.
Well, again, if we want to make the playoffs, we want to make sure Felix is being in the playoffs.
Well, if you make the playoffs and Phillips is not ready to go yet, you want Felix 100%. Right. So yeah. I would rather sacrifice a few games here or 1 or 2 games here for potentially a lot of games later.
I would agree with you.
The 1-0 to Armstrong, taken for a called strike on that inside edge. One put right on a line towards Diaz, and he'll bring it in for out number 2.
I tell you what, between Armstrong and Big Mac and hitting shots at that shortstop, you can't ask for anything better.
Yeah, one of the first guys in the dugout praising him was Bobby Siegel, the hitting coach, so he liked the contact. It was just an unfortunate positioning. So the Edward Jones leadoff hitter of the game, Brian Rosario, will be the last hope for the Otters. He's 1 for 4 in the day. First pitch is across for a called strike.
Well, the Gateway came in here. You said they were 8-1. The Otters had won 8, and they had won only 1. They're going to leave here with 2 of the 3 wins.
Yeah, it has been a Gateway-controlled day today.
Well, I think yesterday was too.
Yeah, yesterday it kind of felt like the Otters were always playing a step behind.
Right. And in fact, the first game, let's thank George for that home run that really won it for us. Other than that, they had the advantage in that first game, too.
Pitch sent on the ground towards Diaz. He could play all 3 outs here. The throw to first.
Safe.
Not quite in time, and Rosario finally wins one of those races.
Yep. And that's what you call hustle. If you didn't hustle, it would have been just another ordinary.
If you would have said, I'm out, that's the game.
Right.
First baseman, 45, Zach Bierman.
It'd be nice if Zach could hit one out of here now. Not that it's going to help the team, but at least a taste of a little coming back would help.
First pitch to Bierman misses on the outside for ball 1. A 1-0 is sent foul to the left side. Another pitch stays outside, and Bierman's ahead again, 2-1. Sent on a line. Past Prather. There goes Rosario around second. There's Otters at first and third.
He didn't hesitate one bit. He was going to third no matter what, simply because it wasn't hit that hard, and the center fielder was playing deep. And the more it rolls, the grass slows it down.
Center fielder, 33, Jeffrey Baez.
So Jeffrey Baez will now step in with 2 runners on, 2 runners out here in the bottom of the ninth.
Well, we've tied him for 7 and 7 hits. Yeah, both teams.
The walks made the difference in this one.
Yeah.
First pitch to Jeffrey Baez. Taken inside of it. 4-1. One-0 gets past the catcher, and Rosario was caught halfway down the line. Probably smart he didn't go home.
Yeah. His run don't mean that much. And rather than stop the rally, which we've got going right now.
For Gateway, they got a friendly hop off the backstop here. It kind of met Hernandez halfway. The 2-0 to Baez. Hit on the ground to the left. Penner will play it into the glove. The throw across in time, and Gateway's going to win this series with a 9-3 win here in this one. Tell you what, the Otters hit a ton of home runs Friday night and let themselves control part of that game. But from that inning on, after they hit those 7 runs on Friday night, this has been Gateway's series.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, we saw, in my opinion, a really solid start from Vinny Santasiero today. 3 solid innings. He looked good as a bullpen arm starting this game, but then suddenly that 4th inning hit. The walk started to come, and that's when things got away from him. We saw both Braden Bonner and Jake Polancic have to come into this game to help out, and from there, it was another occurrence where Gateway never looked back in this one.
Well, I'll tell you what I got out of this series, Matt. And that was good defense by the Otters. I mean, you had individuals out there that really executed a lot of great Major League plays.
Well,
and they may have not hit the ball as well, but at least they played great defense.
It's important to look at the positives in this homestand as well, because there are quite a few. The home run ball was coming back. Right. Justin Watland came off the IL and pitched a gem yesterday. Just ended up as an unlucky no-decision guy. But then Jake Polancic today had a good opportunity. You saw a couple of guys get some solid hitting throughout this weekend. There's a lot of potential upside to take from this series. And even though they're not gimme wins, you're heading to Windy City, who has really struggled in the last month and a half. These could be some games to not only fine-tune your game, but potentially pick up a couple really important wins.
Well, going into Windy City, I'd be really skeptical because, they got nothing to lose.
Exactly.
And the Otters are fighting for life. And that's when you make mistakes. When you got nothing to lose, you just go out there, you're very relaxed. And I know in the past, the last couple of years, we've been in this situation and we really panicked. And
historically, the Otters have struggled in this last month. It always seems to bite them like that.
Right. And that has been the history of the Otters for years now, to come in that last month and really struggle. And you're fighting for life and making the playoffs.
Well, the win is going to go to Weinbergs, who was excellent in this game. He advances to 4-0 on the year. Santasiero receives the loss, his only decision of 2022. The Otters are back in action on Tuesday night as they head to Windy City for Game 1 of a 3-game set there. Then they finish off the weekend at Joliet before heading back here finally on next Tuesday night to face off with Windy City once more. Even though the Otters dropped 2 of 3, it was fun having Bill back in the broadcast booth. We got to see the Otters really compete in those first 2 games, especially. This one stings a little bit to end the homestand.
Well, I'll tell you what, this is when the stars start shining. When you get the pressure on, do you choke or do you continue on your path?
Well, the positive thing is that everybody's having these rough patches right now, and because of that, the Otters are still in a playoff spot, still in contention, still in a place where a couple of wins can put them firmly back in a, we feel, kind of secure spot.
Yeah.
And they'll hope to do that on Tuesday night at Windy City. We're pleased you joined us for another edition of Otters Baseball, both here on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. From all of us here at the Evansville Otters, he's been Bill McCune, I've been Matthew Will, saying so long from beautiful Bosse Field. We'll talk to you later this week as the Otters and Windy City do battle on a Tuesday night.